Yeah, and I think it was really interesting with this because it's prayer that really has changed my life. I mean, a lot of the other stuff has, but it is honestly that daily prayer. This week's gospel is from Luke, chapter 9, verses 28 through 36. The gospel begins with Jesus taking Peter, John, and James up to the mountain to pray. And while on the mountain, they witness transfiguration of Jesus. They are witness to Jesus speaking with Moses and Elijah about his coming death. And they hear God speaking from the cloud saying, "This is my son, my chosen. Listen to him." There are many messages in this one gospel, but what resonated with me was that Jesus went up to the mountain to pray. Jesus prayed. How profound that the Son of God felt compelled to pray. If the Bible tells us that Jesus prayed, then it is clear that we as Christians must also spend time in prayer. A few years ago, after a very difficult time in my life, I made a decision to include prayer in my life each morning. I set up a little altar in my room, and I would begin my morning by lighting a candle and praying. At first, my time spent in prayer was short, but as time went on, my prayer list grew. And soon I realized I looked forward to this quiet time in prayer. I discovered that I had built a beautiful relationship with God, and like a good friend, I really look forward to chatting with him each morning. And I saw my life changing. I was witness to little miracles, and I knew that God was with me. I continue to make prayer part of my morning routine. When my mornings start with prayer, I feel more grounded, calmer, stronger, and ready to face whatever the day has in store for me. But when life gets chaotic and I don't make time to pray, I feel disconnected, off kilter, and even anxious. I see God working in my life each and every day, and I believe this is unequivocally the result of prayer. The other message from the gospel that stood out for me was God speaking to the disciples. God told them to listen to his Son. It reminded me that along with prayer, we must also take time to listen to God, to be quiet, to stop talking, stop distracting ourselves with our cell phones, with television, video games, Facebook, and Snapchat. That not only must we spend time in prayer, but we must also sit quietly and listen for God's messages. I don't believe it's enough to just pray at Mass on Sunday. We must speak with God daily. He is with us wherever we go. We should check in with him the same way we check in with our loved ones, remembering to thank him for all the great blessings he has bestowed upon us, to ask him to heal us, to forgive us, to strengthen us, to help us do his work on earth, and to show us the way. During this Lenten season, I encourage you to take the time to pray and to watch the miracle of God working in your life.